Welcome back, everyone, to another deep dive.
Yeah.
And today we're going to be stepping back in time all the way to ancient Rome.
Ooh, ancient Rome. Exciting.
It is. It's going to be fun. And we're going to be exploring a concept that might just hold the key to a more balanced and fulfilling life.
Okay, I like the sound of that.
In our modern AI-driven world.
Okay, so there's an AI angle to this.
There is. There is. It's all connected.
All right, I'm intrigued. Lay it on me.
Okay, so this concept is called Otium. And it's so much more than just leisure.
Otium, okay.
Otium. Think of it as purposeful downtime.
Okay.
Time carved out for reflection, personal growth, and becoming a better version of yourself.
Okay, I like where this is going.
The Romans considered this essential, a vital counterbalance to their busy work lives.
I see.
Or negotium, as they called it.
So like the opposite of negotium.
Exactly. So not just like kicking back and watching Netflix.
Why? Okay.
But actively engaging in activities that enrich the mind and spirit.
More like intentional downtime.
Exactly. Our source material mentions Romans spending their otium reading, writing, debating philosophy.
Oh, interesting.
And even just taking long walks to ponder life's big questions.
That sounds pretty idyllic, actually. Especially in today's world where everyone's always so busy.
I know. It's like we've lost sight of the importance of just slowing down and thinking.
Yeah. Makes you wonder if we've sacrificed something valuable in our constant pursuit of productivity.
It's a good point. And here's where the connection to AI gets really fascinating.
Okay, here we go.
Imagine if AI could take over all of those mundane tasks that fill our days.
Oh, I see.
Answering emails, scheduling appointments, maybe even doing our taxes.
Okay, yeah, that would free up a lot of time.
Right, we'd have all this extra time.
Time for Otium.
Exactly.
Time for Otium.
Okay, but here's the thing. Would people actually use that time for self-improvement?
That is the million-dollar question.
Or would we just end up, scrolling through social media even more, binge-watching shows?
Yeah. It's tempting, right?
It is. It's very tempting. Even I love a good philosophical debate. But, sometimes that extra hour of sleep is pretty tempting.
Oh, absolutely.
So it really underscores the importance of intentionality.
You're right. It's not enough to just have the time. We have to choose how we use it.
Exactly. Our source material puts it this way. Imagine everyone lounging around in their virtual villas.
Virtual villas. I like that.
Debating the meaning of life between bites of bread and cheese.
Okay. That's a funny image.
It is. It's a bit of a playful image.
Yeah.
But I think it gets the potential for a real cultural shift.
I see what you mean.
Yeah.
It's like this humorous take on a serious idea.
Exactly.
What if having access to Otium actually changed how we function as a society?
Right. What if everyone had time to think deeply and engage with the world in a more meaningful way?
It's a pretty radical idea.
It is. It's a vision worth exploring. But before we get too carried away with the utopian daydreams.
Right. Let's bring it back down to earth a bit.
Exactly. Let's dig a little deeper into what Otium actually looked like in ancient Rome.
Yes. Let's ground this fascinating concept in some historical reality.
Exactly, because understanding the past can give us valuable insights into shaping our future.
Absolutely.
So from what I've gathered, Otium, it wasn't just about personal enrichment for the Romans.
Oh, really?
They saw it as a way to become better contributors to society as a whole.
That's a really interesting distinction.
It is. It wasn't about escaping from responsibilities,
Right.
but rather about stepping back to gain perspective and then returning to public life with renewed purpose and insight.
So it was about more than just feeling good. It was about using that mental space to actually make a difference.
Exactly.
That's fascinating.
So it wasn't just philosophers and poets who practiced otium.
No, not at all. Roman statesmen and generals also valued Otium. They used this time for reflection.
Interesting.
To strategize, make better decisions, and ultimately govern more effectively.
So otium, it wasn't just about individual growth. It was also about strengthening the fabric of society itself.
Precisely. It was seen as a vital component of a thriving republic. There's some interesting parallels to our modern world here.
Oh, yeah. Tell me more.
We often hear about the importance of mindfulness and work-life balance.
We do. But those concepts often feel more like individual coping mechanisms, rather than a collective pursuit aimed at societal good.
You've hit the nail on the head. Roman Otium. It wasn't just about feeling less stressed. It was about using that mental space to actively contribute to the greater good.
Okay, so how did they actually apply these insights gained during Otium to their public lives?
Well, while we don't have direct accounts of every Roman's Otium leading to a specific societal change,
Right.
we can see evidence of its impact throughout Roman history. For example, Cicero,
Oh, Cicero.
the orator.
Yes, Cicero, a prominent statesman and philosopher.
Hmm.
He used his otium to hone his oratory skills, which were crucial for influencing political decisions and shaping public opinion.
That makes a lot of sense. His powerful speeches, they wouldn't have been possible without dedicated time for reflection and refinement of his ideas. Precisely. And let's not forget the countless works of literature, philosophy, and history that were born out of Roman Otium. These writings, they helped shape Roman culture. Wow. And have continued to influence Western thought for centuries.
It's incredible. It really makes you appreciate the power of otium to shape not just individuals, but entire civilizations.
And perhaps that's the most compelling argument for its revival in our modern world, especially as AI offers us the potential to reclaim our time and rediscover this lost art of purposeful downtime.
Okay, so we've established that otium, it was more than just ancient R&R. It was a deliberate practice with profound personal and societal implications.
It really was.
But now I'm even more curious about how this all ties into AI in our lives today.
Let's dive into that in the next part of our deep
Oh,
dive.
sounds good.
We'll explore how AI might help us reimagine otium for the 21st century, and what challenges and opportunities this new era of purposeful leisure might bring.
I'm already feeling more relaxed just thinking about it. But first, I want to hear from you, dear listener. What does otium mean to you? And what activities would fill your ideal day of purposeful downtime?
Ooh, good question.
Share your thoughts in the comments. And join us next time as we continue our exploration of otium and the transformative potential of AI.
It's going to be a fascinating conversation.
I can't wait.
Welcome back to our deep dive into otium.
It's amazing to think how this ancient Roman practice could be revived and reshaped by technology in our modern world.
What's fascinating is that our source material takes a lighthearted approach, imagining a world where people are casually dropping philosophical insights between bites of cereal.
Yeah, like it's just an everyday thing.
Exactly.
It's definitely a playful picture, but I think there's a deeper truth there.
Precisely. What if this scenario points to a genuine shift in our relationship with work and leisure? Could AI truly free us from the daily grind, allowing us to embrace a more contemplative and fulfilling lifestyle?
I mean, it's certainly a tantalizing thought. To have the time and space to pursue our passions, delve into deep thinking, and contribute to society in meaningful ways.
It's not just about individual fulfillment either. Our source suggests that a widespread embrace of otium could have a transformative effect on society as a whole.
So like a ripple effect.
Exactly.
Imagine a world full of thoughtful and engaged people, more connected to each other and their communities.
It's a vision that aligns with the Roman ideal of otium as a means of cultivating civic virtue and contributing to the common good.
It's kind of a beautiful idea.
It is.
But let's be realistic for a moment. The source also acknowledges the potential for us to squander this newfound free time.
Right. It's not a guaranteed utopia.
Exactly.
The allure of endless scrolling, binge-watching, and mindless entertainment is a powerful force vying for our attention.
Oh, absolutely. I know I'm guilty of that sometimes.
We all are.
Exactly. Will we rise to the challenge of using our otium wisely? Or will we succumb to digital distractions?
That's the crucial question. It's not enough to simply have time. We must also cultivate the discipline, intentionality, and wisdom to use that time effectively.
So it's not just about quantity, it's about quality too.
Exactly.
And this is where things get interesting. Our source hints at a fascinating possibility. What if AI could actually help us develop those very qualities?
Oh, that's interesting.
Imagine AI tools designed to guide our reflection, nurture our creativity, and help us cultivate habits of mindful engagement.
So AI could be more than just a time saver. It could actually help us become better versions of ourselves.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm listening.
Think AI-powered mentors, personalized learning companions, or even virtual Socrates bots, challenging us to think more deeply.
It's kind of mind-boggling to think that technology could not only free up our time, but also guide us in using that time wisely.
I know, right? It almost sounds too good to be true. But maybe this playful vision of an AI-powered Otium era holds a kernel of real possibility.
Even if we don't all become toga-clad philosophers debating the meaning of life, perhaps we can still learn from the Roman example and strive to integrate moments of purposeful reflection and self-improvement into our modern lives.
Right, so it's about taking inspiration from the past and applying it to the present.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Whether it's carving out time for reading, pursuing a creative hobby, or simply engaging in meaningful conversations, we can all find ways to embrace the spirit of Otium in our own unique ways.
And who knows, maybe those small acts of intentional living will ripple outward, creating a more thoughtful, engaged, and fulfilling society for all.
I love that. So we've talked about this futuristic AI-powered version of Otium, but what practical steps can we take today to cultivate a more Otium-like approach to life, even without the help of AI?
That's a great question. The truth is, we don't have to wait for technology to catch up with our aspirations for a more balanced and fulfilling existence.
So what can we do right now?
We can start by simply becoming more aware of how we're spending our time and identifying areas where we can create space for activities that nourish our minds, bodies, and spirits.
Okay, so like taking an inventory of our daily routines.
Exactly.
For example, we could set aside 30 minutes each day for reading or take a weekly nature walk.
The key is to start small, be consistent, and gradually build up habits that support our well-being and allow us to tap into the restorative power of Otium.
It's like building a muscle. We start with small reps and gradually increase the weight over time.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to experiment. Try different activities, explore new interests, and discover what truly brings you joy and a sense of deep satisfaction.
You know, it's fascinating to think that even though the concept of otium is ancient, it's still so relevant today.
It speaks to a fundamental human need for balance, reflection, and connection, a need that transcends time and technology.
I completely agree. And it makes you wonder what our modern day version of otium might look like. Would it be a complete return to the Roman way or something entirely new and unique to our digital age?
That's an intriguing question to ponder. Perhaps it would be a blend of both drawing inspiration from the past while adapting to the realities and possibilities of the present.
So instead of lounging in togas, we might be meditating with VR headsets or having virtual philosophical debates with friends across the globe.
The possibilities are endless. The important thing is to remember the core principles of odium intentionality, self-improvement, and contributing to the common good.
Now, speaking of the common good, I think it's important to address the potential for odium to become another marker of privilege in our already unequal society.
You raise a valid concern. Access to time and resources is not equally distributed, and we need to be mindful of that as we explore the potential of otium in the modern world.
Exactly. If otium becomes just another luxury good available only to the wealthy and the well-connected, it could further exacerbate existing inequalities.
We need to ensure that everyone has the opportunity to benefit from the potential of odium, regardless of their socioeconomic status or background.
So how do we do that?
It's a complex issue.
It
But I think it starts with recognizing that access to time and resources is a social justice issue.
Yep.
That means advocating for policies that promote work-life balance, provide access to affordable leisure activities, and create a social safety net that allows people to take time for personal growth without fear of financial hardship.
So it's about creating a society where odium is not seen as a privilege, but as a fundamental aspect of human flourishing.
Exactly. And it aligns with the Roman ideal of odium as a means of strengthening the social fabric and creating a more just and equitable society.
It sounds like we need a paradigm shift in how we think about work leisure and the distribution of resources.
I think you're right.
Now, in the next part of our deep dive, we'll be exploring some specific examples of how AI could facilitate otium in various aspects of our lives.
We'll be looking at how AI could help us personalize our learning experiences, optimize our creative workflows, and even foster deeper connections within our communities.
It's going to be fascinating.
It is.
But before we jump into those exciting possibilities, let's take a moment to reflect on what we've discussed so far.
What are some key takeaways that have resonated with you? What insights or questions have sparked your curiosity?
We'd love to hear your thoughts. Share your reflections and questions in the comments below, and join us next time as we continue our exploration of odium and the transformative potential of AI. Welcome back to the final part of our deep dive into odium and AI.
It's been a fascinating exploration. Now, as promised, we're going to shift our focus to the practical side of things.
Exactly. We've talked about the concepts and possibilities, but now let's actually explore how AI could help us create more otium in our lives.
Well, let's start by considering one of the classic odium activities, learning. Imagine AI tutors that adapt to your individual learning style, pacing, and interests.
Wow. Yeah, it would be like having a personal Socrates guiding you through any subject you could imagine, from ancient philosophy to astrophysics.
Precisely. And it wouldn't just be about passively absorbing information. AI could help us actively engage with the material, prompting us to ask deeper questions and make connections we might have missed on our own.
So instead of just reading a book on, say, Roman history, you could have an AI-powered discussion partner, debating the finer points of Stoic philosophy or the impact of the Punic Wars.
Exactly. It's a whole new level of interactive learning tailored to your individual needs and curiosity.
That's what I call making Otium both educational and engaging. But what about those of us who are more creatively inclined? How could AI support our artistic endeavors?
This is where things get really exciting. AI could become the ultimate creative collaborator, helping us brainstorm ideas, overcome creative blocks, and even bring our artistic visions to life in ways we never thought possible.
So, for example, a musician could work with AI to compose new melodies or experiment with different soundscapes. A writer could use AI to generate story ideas or get feedback on their writing style.
Exactly. It's all about augmenting human creativity, not replacing it. Think of AI as a creative partner, pushing us to explore new possibilities and expand our artistic horizons.
It makes me think of those ancient Roman artisans meticulously crafting mosaics and sculptures. Now imagine them with AI tools to enhance their designs and streamline their workflow.
They might have created even more breathtaking masterpieces. And speaking of masterpieces, let's not forget the potential of AI to help us create Otium on a societal level.
This is where it gets really big. What do you have in mind?
Imagine AI optimizing urban planning to create more green spaces and public areas dedicated to leisure and community engagement.
Okay.
Think parks designed for contemplation, interactive art installations, or even community gardens where people can connect with nature and each other.
It's like taking the concept of otium and expanding it beyond the individual to create a more balanced and harmonious society as a whole.
Precisely, AI could even help us design transportation systems that prioritize walking, cycling, and public transit, encouraging a slower pace of life and reducing stress.
So instead of being stuck in traffic, we could be strolling through a park, enjoying a leisurely bike ride, or simply sitting on a bench watching the world go by.
It's a vision of a future where technology actually helps us slow down, reconnect with ourselves and our communities, and rediscover the simple pleasures of life.
It's inspiring to think about how AI could help us reshape our world in such positive ways. But I think it's also important to acknowledge that with any new technology, there are always potential risks and challenges.
You're absolutely right. We need to be mindful of the potential downsides of AI and ensure that it's developed and used responsibly and ethically.
For example, we need to be careful about becoming too reliant on AI to structure our leisure time. We don't want to end up in a situation where algorithms are dictating our every move, even in our downtime.
That's a great point. It's crucial to maintain our own agency and make conscious choices about how we spend our time, even with the assistance of AI.
And we need to be aware of the potential for AI to exacerbate existing social inequalities. We want to make sure that the benefits of AI-powered Otium are accessible to everyone, not just a privileged few.
Absolutely. We need to think carefully about issues of access, affordability, and inclusivity to ensure that everyone has the opportunity to benefit from these technological advancements.
It's a reminder that technology is a tool. And like any tool, it can be used for good or for ill. It's up to us to shape the future we want to see and to use AI in a way that benefits humanity as a whole.
Well said. And I think that brings us back to the core principles of Otium intentionality, self-improvement, and contributing to the common good. These principles should guide our approach to AI as we seek to create a future where technology enhances our lives, not diminishes them.
As we wrap up this deep dive into Otium and AI, I'm left with a sense of both excitement and cautious optimism. There's so much potential for AI to help us create a more balanced, fulfilling, and meaningful future, but it's up to us to ensure that it's used wisely and ethically.
I agree. It's an exciting time to be alive, and I'm eager to see how this unfolds in the years to come.
And on that note, we'd love to hear from you. What resonated with you in this deep dive? What hopes or concerns do you have about AI and the future of Otium? Share your thoughts in the comments below and join us next time for another fascinating exploration at the intersection of history, technology, and culture.
Until then, may your days be filled with moments of purposeful pause, and may your Otium be ever enriching.